Well, we are live today with Jared St. Clair, and Jared's going to be part of our conference. We're so excited because he's going to be speaking, and then he's going to have two booths there this year. So, Jared, can you kind of tell everybody who you are and what you're going to be talking about, what's going to be happening at your booth, and all the fun things that's going to be happening at the conference?
Absolutely. Yeah. This is my third time at the conference and absolutely loved it last year. Super excited to be back. This year, I'll be speaking about the microbiome and how it relates to stress, anxiety, depression, mental health, basically. And we'll be giving some tips on things that you can do to improve your situation if you struggle with any of those things. And at my booth, I'll have, well, two booths. I've got one focused on skin care through actually taking care of your skin's microbiome with our Vital Skin Therapy line, which uses cultured milk to actually enhance the microbiome and the quality of the skin itself.
And that's a new product, right? That's something you just started doing?
Yeah, that's something we just launched about a month ago, actually.
So basically, it has kefir in it.
Kind of, yeah. Not exactly, but kind of. Yeah, and we're excited about it. It's it's a clean, non-toxic product, of course, and everything from cleansers and toners to eye creams. There's there's only currently 4 things in the line, but we may be increasing it to more than that. And so we're doing that, and then I'll be touching on my Vital 5. I have a podcast called Vitality Radio, where I talk about supplements primarily. My goal is to help people become more conscientious and educated supplement users, because there's so much marketing out there. It's a little tough to know if you're getting a good quality product or not, and what the supplement facts panel actually means, that sort of thing. So that's what I focus on a lot on Vitality Radio. And I'll be talking about my Vital 5, which are the 5 supplements that I think most adults in America can benefit from on a regular basis, as well as a lot more about the microbiome, probiotics, and things like that.
Well, Jared, also, you have a store up in Bountiful, so you grew up in the industry of basically a vitamin shop, right? To go back to the old days of what it was called, right? And so you grew up in that. Your parents started it. You've taken it over. You have that. You do a radio show on every Saturday on 1280 The Zone, and that's actually where I first heard you, because I'm a big sports fan. So I was listening to 1280. And I remember you were one of the first people I reached out to when Liz decided that we were going to do this, this whole thing. And I know that you were kind of hesitant. I know you were kind of hesitant, like, oh yeah, people always do that. And you came to our first conference. Our first conference was actually really good. We just didn't have that many people there because it was brand new. No one knew,
right.
no one heard about it. And it was really hard to get the word out.
But your life was changed because you came to it,
That's right? That's right.
Yep.
I think we're the ones told you need to do a podcast. And so, I mean, but you've done great things, and we're just excited to have you, because you really are one of Utah's best in terms of putting out information, trying to let people know there's options out there, and explaining the best things to do for natural health. And I know you have products, you have services and things like that, but a lot of times you don't care about that when you're explaining stuff. You just want people to know, hey, there are things out there that you can do to get and stay well naturally.
Yeah, the whole idea really being very much in line with what you guys are trying to accomplish with this conference is just to let people know that there are natural ways to go about this, that we're not just restricted to pharmaceuticals and medical procedures and things like that. Those things have their place, but that there are so many things you can do short of that to improve your health and to prevent the onset of debilitating disease and things like that. I feel like my goal lately especially has been to just help people become better consumers of natural products. But I also love to advocate for the natural way of doing things, keeping government out of our healthcare as much as possible, and being very wary of what's going on with big pharma and things like that. So yeah, my show and my mission is all about education and empowerment for the people who listen.
Yeah, no, that's excellent, and we so very much appreciate it. And we just recorded the podcast that I believe we're going to be on this Saturday with you. Is that correct, on your podcast?
That
or
is
not
correct.
on the radio show? So
Yeah.
everyone tune into that 1280 a.m. and it's on at 9:00. It goes from 9 to 10. It's an hour show every Saturday, correct?
Yep, 1280 AM or 97.5 FM, and your interview will also be on the podcast, Vitality Radio podcast, so people can listen to it either way.
Yeah, so make sure you get on that. And I mean, you've just done a great job in terms of getting people understanding. And the podcast, you've been doing that for what now? 2 years, 3 years?
Yeah, a little over 2 years now.
Yeah.
Yep. And the show's 15 years old total. So.
And so basically it's the show on Saturday, but then you have additional things that you kind of put on out there that maybe some things you can't really put on the radio, but you want to give more information, and sometimes it goes a little longer and different things of that nature, correct?
Yeah, I actually have 2 shows a week on the podcast. One of them is the radio show that gets rebroadcast, and then one that I release every Wednesday is independent of the radio, and sometimes a little more controversial for sure. And then I have another podcast called Dearly Discarded, which I'll be talking about there at your conference as well, where I tell the stories of people who were injured during the COVID vaccine experiment and things like that. So I talk a lot. I have a lot to say. So I'd love for anybody listening right now to come and listen to me at 2:00 on Saturday at Be Healthy Utah.
So with your presentation that you're going to be giving, I know I don't want you to give your whole presentation here, but what are some of the key points that you're going to be hitting?
Well, it's an interesting topic because it's very, very deep. And I think there are some basic understandings out there for a lot of people, but maybe not quite how deep the science actually goes when it comes to the gut-brain connection and what's happening in the gut and how it dictates to a large degree what happens in the brain. In modern medicine, the focus is always on manipulating brain chemicals, whether they're treating something like ADHD or anxiety or depression or PTSD. I mean, you can name the disorder. They're always working directly in the brain with brain chemicals, but that bypasses what is probably, well, I'm not going to say probably, what I believe is the most important part of the process, and that is what's happening in the gut. I rarely, if ever, talk to anybody with mental health concerns that doesn't also have gut health concerns. And I always get a bit of a strange look in people's eyes when they come in asking me about anxiety. And I say, let's talk about your gut and your bowel movements, because people don't recognize how interrelated those two things are. So I'll talk about the key elements in terms of probiotics. I'll talk about the differences between what are known as human strain probiotics, which are kind of traditional probiotics, versus what are called spore forming probiotics, and why they both matter, and how you might use one over the other depending on what you're dealing with. I'll talk about key elements in terms of nutrition and herbs that are critical to help balance your cortisol levels and that sort of thing as well. And also some of the key deficiencies that people deal with that can lead to exacerbated issues with those types of disorders.
No, and I'm sure it will be excellent, because you, one of the things that I know about you is that you really do know your information, and you present it in a very easy way to understand, which is incredible. So we are just excited. We're glad you're here this morning with us on this live. We're trying to get the word out. All we want to do is help people, let people know there's options out there. Let them enjoy the conference. Come and enjoy the conference. You have a discount code. Well, let's share that. What is the discount code that you have?
Vitality 40, and that gets you 40% off of the 2-day conference. And of course, you know, we're here on Facebook, and my show is really a national show. You have that option if you're not in Utah to check out the video portion of this after the conference as well. So I'm really excited about that. I also was able to give away a few free tickets within my Facebook listeners community to some local people that are really excited about that.
So tell us a little bit about that. What is your Facebook community, so people might be able to join that as well?
About 9 months ago, I started a Facebook community, deciding that what I really needed to improve my podcast was a community of people that could tell me how to improve my podcast. So I ask a lot of questions in there about, what you do or don't like about the show. There's a ton of back and forth between community members on, hey, my son's got a sty in his eye. What do I do that's a natural remedy for that? That sort of thing. We get a ton of that stuff on there. We have I think we're about 450 people in the community now from all over the country. And even a handful of people up in Canada are in there as well. And it's just a really cool place where people have the opportunity to talk to like-minded people about natural remedies. And so where it started out as more, I thought it was going to be more discussion about what's happening on the podcast. It's ended up being just a really great resource for people to just bat ideas around on how to take care of a variety of different health issues through natural means. It's been a really, really cool community with really amazing people. I have a lot of fun in there.
How do they join it?
They can join. It's near impossible to find the way Facebook does it without a link. But if you go to my podcast, Vitality Radio Podcast, at the bottom of each show description, there is a link, and then it's super easy to come in, and there's no fee or anything. It's free to join. We certainly want people that are engaged and interested in what's going on, and we tend to get a lot of that. We have a real high percentage of engagement in there, and people, we do contests too, a couple times a week. We're giving away gift certificates to vitalitynutrition.com or free products. We do quizzes. We do what we call Free Product Friday, but then we also do something called What's Sup Wednesday. So like What Supplement Wednesday. And we did clues about something, like one we did was ashwagandha, and we gave a bunch of information about ashwagandha and let people guess, what herb we're talking about. Oh, okay. And then we give away a free bottle of it to a couple of the people that guess correctly, that sort of thing. So it's a fun little community, lots of really great people and lots of good information.
One thing I love about Jared is that you give tons of good information. It seems like you know everything about every type of herb, every type of disease, every type of ailment that's happening somebody. Because you've grown up around this for so long, what the best treatment is. And when people listen to you, they get a ton of information.
Well, I appreciate that. What I have learned from my community, Liz, is that I know a lot less than I need to.
That's the problem with all this, right? Is the more you know, the more you don't know, right?
Yeah, I always tell people, if you think you know everything, you don't know anything. It's really crazy that some of the questions. I had somebody ask a really great question in our chat feature on our website, which if you have questions about supplements, you can go to vitalitynutrition.com and open up a chat. And usually it's me that answers those chats. And he asked me, why I chose this ingredient over that ingredient in my multivitamin, and why I chose this ingredient over that ingredient in my anxiety release formula. And they're both really good, intelligent questions that one of which I had to really think about and think, well, let's see, why did I go that route? Because these are both great options. And the other one was easy for me because I felt like the way I went was definitely the superior option. But I told him, and I actually announced it on my show that I released yesterday, that his question sparked enough interest in me that I'm going back and re-examining those two ingredients to determine if I made the right choice and if I maybe need to make an upgrade to my formula. So it's been cool having people that are going to conferences like yours, listening to podcasts like mine, that are really educating themselves and then throwing challenging questions back at me, which has to keep me a lot sharper than I used to have to be, and has really helped me further my education. So it's been a really, really cool journey.
Well, thanks, Jared, for being on. And we're so excited that you're going to be joining us at the conference. I know that, go to his class. He has a really good class. Listen to his radio, join his Facebook.
Especially this week, this Saturday, because we're going to be on it.
Yes.
Yeah, the first 15 minutes this week are a little rough with I have a couple of guests from Utah, Be Healthy something. But then after that, I've got a really great guest talking about vital skin therapy. So,
wow, throws us under the bus. All right,
it'll be a good show. And your conference, I will just say this: if there's anybody listening to this that doesn't already have a ticket and isn't sure if they're going, do not miss this. This thing is awesome. The first half hour you're there, you'll learn enough to pay for your ticket. This is a really, really great event. I get so excited about it. And I know this would cause a nightmare if I told you this, but I think it should be biannual. I think we should do this twice a year.
Oh my gosh. Oh, it kills us it kills us to do this once a year. No one has, that's the thing. Unless you do this, no one has even a clue.
But we will invite you to the other states we're going to take it to.
Yeah, the back end of this stuff is there's a lot of organization. I don't know how you guys do it.
Well, we just hope we do it a little bit well. So, all right. Hey, thanks, Jared. Appreciate your time. Have yourself a wonderful day. Listen to us on Saturday, and we'll see you next week at the conference.
Sounds good. I'll be there. Thank you so much.